everyone, I'm Claudia Chen. Today I am presenting VIDDE, Visualizations for Helping People with COPD Interpret Dyspnea During Exercise. This work is a collaboration with my colleagues from the University Health Network and the University of Toronto. Chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, or COPD, is an umbrella term for progressive lung disorders and is highly prevalent among older adults. A major symptom of COPD is dyspnea, which encapsulates perceived feelings of shortness of breath and breathing discomfort. When we interviewed people with COPD, one participant told us, "For most people, the feeling is your body is really having problems breathing, but it's nothing to do with your body at all. It's the fear in your mind. That's what shortness of breath does. It's the most scary thing in the world." Unfortunately, the respiratory impairment caused by COPD results in dyspnea during physical exertion. Feelings of labored breathing, chest tightness, and air hunger can be distressing and perceived as more dangerous than they actually are. And to avoid triggering these uncomfortable and scary sensations, people with COPD begin to avoid physical activity, leading to physical deconditioning, which fuels a vicious cycle as it leads to increased feelings of dyspnea, which further discourages physical activity, and so on. It is normal to feel dyspnea upon physical activity, and our work aims to make exercise more approachable for those who experience it. One effective treatment for increasing physical activity and decreasing dyspnea is pulmonary rehabilitation, which includes supervised exercise training, during which heart rate and oxygen saturation are monitored using a device called a pulse oximeter. Pictured on the right is a known pulse oximeter with a wrist-worn form factor and a finger-worn sensor. At rehab, an oximeter is used to ensure that the patient's readings remain in a safe range of values during exercise, preventing issues such as hypoxemia when oxygen saturation is too low and tachycardia when heart rate is too fast. Even though biometric monitoring is readily used in pulmonary rehab, there is a lack of investigation on its possible benefits for people with COPD. Outside of supervised exercise training, could biometric monitoring be a component of providing a safe and reassuring environment for exercise? Presenting objective physiological data may help dispel the feelings of anxiety and fear that their body is endangered. In our work, we wanted to investigate what are the benefits of real-time physiological data monitoring on dyspnea intensity and dyspnea-related distress and anxiety, and how can we integrate it into an assistive tool for people with COPD during exercise. To investigate these questions, we designed a prototype system and conducted a user study and design probe study. Here is VIDDE, short for Visualization for Interpreting Dyspnea During Exercise. On this slide is a diagram showing a person walking on a treadmill using VIDDE. They are wearing a pulse oximeter that continuously sends heart rate and oxygen saturation data to an application on a tablet. The user views their biometric data, which raises awareness about their current state. The system is configured to the user's physiology and can be set to warn the user of potential hypoxemia and tachycardia. We developed two visualizations for presenting pulse oximetry data. On the left is a simple current display showing current heart rate and oxygen values at a quick glance. On the right, a temporal visualization displays biometric data over the duration of an exercise session using line graphs that are continuously updated. The colors in the background can help the user see when they are in safe ranges, which can help with anxiety and dyspnea-related distress. To evaluate VIDDE, we conducted a user study with 3 people with COPD. The participants were over the age of 65 and experienced different levels of dyspnea in their daily lives. Each participant did 9 short exercise sessions at their own home, and every 3 sessions was done with a different variant of the interface, which included a baseline variant with no biometrics. The user also rated their dyspnea intensity and dyspnea-related distress and anxiety during the exercise sessions. On the left, we see the experimental setup. A participant is pedaling on a mini pedal exerciser while seated on a chair, and a tablet stand and tablet are in front of them. After the exercise sessions, we conducted semi-structured follow-up interviews with the participants. I will be going over a few highlights from the study. Our first participant, who we will call Angela, was diagnosed with COPD 2 years ago. Dyspnea had a moderate impact on her daily life, but Angela also had a severe level of general anxiety. Her mean ratings of her dyspnea related distress and anxiety during the study were lower with the biometric displays as compared to the baseline. It was great to hear that Angela found the visualizations relaxing and reassuring, which encouraged her to keep exercising. She told us, "As I exercised, it gave me the guidance that I wasn't in distress and I wasn't in any problem. So, I was happy to continue with the exercise." Angela also used the live biometrics as feedback for her breathing. She told us that when she noticed her oxygen went down, "I started to inhale and exhale and concentrate more on how to breathe correctly and sit up straight in posture." Brian was diagnosed with COPD 16 years ago and is physically active. His dyspnea had a low impact on his daily life. Being regularly active, Brian was not bothered by his dyspnea during the exercise, and his dyspnea ratings were not affected by VIDDE. However, he still found value in using the heart rate meter on screen to achieve a target aerobic exercise intensity. Brian told us, "My understanding is that the target area was to be moderate and to get your heart rate into the green zone, and you just pumped hard enough to do that." Finally, Charles was diagnosed with COPD 23 years ago and is sedentary. Dyspnea had a high impact on his daily life. Surprisingly, his mean ratings for dyspnea intensity were higher with biometrics than without. Charles told us that prior to this study, he was not aware that his oxygen dropped significantly during exercise. It is possible that biometric data made Charles more aware of the impact of his COPD and increased the perception of his dyspnea. He told us, "I never noticed it. I was getting headaches and stuff like that, and I knew I was out of breath, and I knew something was wrong, but I didn't have an oxygen meter here myself. I could watch the oxygen going up and down. Not good." VIDDE became a source of safety for him during the exercise. When the application warned Charles that his oxygen dipped below a certain threshold, he would rest and use breathing techniques until his oxygen went back up. In summary, we found that real-time physiological data monitoring and visualization was a promising way to make exercise more accessible for people with COPD. For people who experience scary sensations of dyspnea upon exertion, a system like VIDDE may provide reassurance and help users be aware when they may be unsafe. To end off, we present a few mock-ups of VIDDE on different form factors, such as a smartwatch, phone, and tablet, which also include additional helpful features such as a distance tracker and status messages. A person with COPD may choose to go for a walk outside, and with a quick glance of their biometrics on a phone or a watch, they may be reassured that they are safe and be encouraged to continue exercising. Thank you.